All right, your next question is going to be coming from Todd Burlage. Oh. Todd, I believe you're on mute. All right, we're going to circle back to Todd. Your next question will be from Tyler James.
Hey, Sean, playing safety for the first time this season, I'm sure you've had a number of mistakes that you've probably learned from. I'm curious, can you maybe point to a mistake that you made this season that you learned from that helped you later on in the season?
Yeah, definitely. Just staying on my keys, I guess, and just having narrow focus, moving to safety. I tried to take advantage of just the depth and the position that I'm at to where I can see the full formation, see other things that I wasn't used to seeing at corner. But in the end, that ended up hurting me on some plays and having me make some mistakes. And so just throughout the bye week, I watched a lot of plays, watched a few plays from the BC game, just trying to just focus on doing my job and just staying on my keys and staying on my read, not trying to do too much, not trying to see too much. And I think that's just one of the big things that I'll take moving forward for the rest of the season.
Next question will come from Pete Sampson.
Sean, I had a couple. One is if you could just sort of speak generally about the North Carolina offense. Like, what do they do well? What's unique about that? And then sort of a different subject entirely. You've seen Ian come through his, entire 5 years here. How do you feel like he's sort of handled everything that comes with being the Notre Dame quarterback? Good, bad, and different.
Yeah. To your first question, North Carolina is an explosive team. They have two great backs, and so we have to be tied into the run game. We have to wrap up. We have to bring them down, because they're great after contact. They have great receivers on the outside, a lot of speed, a lot of skill, and also a quarterback that can give them the ball. The quarterback can make any throw. He's good from in between the hash, outside the numbers, and so we just got to make sure that we're playing top down and that we're tight in coverage, because he does fit the ball into small windows, and he's definitely reading the safeties, and he's reading the corners and also the overhangs. And so we got to do a great job of disguise and great job of staying true to our reads and playing tight in coverage. And in regards to Ian's question, I've had the privilege to room with Ian over the past 2 years, and so I've seen his development and I've seen his growth, and just the day-to-day, he's a confident player. He's a confident person, and the things you see in Ian, you see him. He doesn't get home sometimes till 9:30, 10 o'clock, just because he's in a film room after practice, trying to go over new things, trying to see new things, and it's been fun just because playing against him the past 3 years really. When he's taking over lead in practice, you can see his growth, and you can see just the timing of everything. Everything's just starting to come together for him, and he's put the work in. He's each and every day he's trying to get better, and you can tell that just from game to game. He doesn't take anything for granted. He works his butt off, and he just tries to keep climbing.
Next question will come from Tim O'Malley.
Sean, you mentioned Sam Howell. What is the challenge for a safety facing a very heavy RPO offense like North Carolina's? And I guess you could speak to what will be the challenge for your corners from back in the day when you're trying to hold it down against the run, but there's also that pass option.
I think challenges that we'll face as safety is just being patient, not in a hurry to get down in the run game, not in a hurry to get on our back pedal, but to get our read, to clear our cleats, and to make sure that we're seeing the right things. Like I said before, one thing I wanted to focus on was just narrowing my focus, staying on my keys, and that'll be huge. Just reading him, because he's definitely reading us. You could tell from the film, you could tell from the games that he's reading the safeties, and that he's pulling it and is throwing it as soon as the safety makes the wrong steps. And so we definitely got to be patient. We're tied in on that, and we're focusing on that this week. And as far as corners, like I said, the corners just got to play tight coverage and play top down, because we know they will take shots and they will do double moves. And so our corners just got to be just play it true, and just play confident on throughout the game, because we have talented corners that can match up against their talent on the outside, and so it'll be a great matchup all game.
All right, we're circling back to Todd Burlage. All right, doesn't look like it's working with Todd.
Might have had a good
So we will go to loose emoji.
Hey, Sean, just a couple questions.
Lou, I believe you're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry about that. Sean, a couple questions. One was just an initial reaction, given past injuries, when you're moved to safety at 5'9" and so involved with both the run and the pass, but also the physicality of the position, your initial reaction and how you would fit there. And number two, I almost hate asking this, but like last year, you said you had a hard time envisioning coming back for a sixth year. Could you envision coming back for a seventh?
I'll start with that one first. I don't. I haven't talked about it at all. I haven't thought about it really. I've just been taking it one game at a time, just trying to make the most out of these last few moments at Notre Dame. And so, I think we got something special going on here, and I just want to focus on that and just play. I don't know. I really don't know. But for moving to safety, my initial thoughts were I get to make plays. I get to roam around. I get to fly around, have a nose for the ball, and just things that I love to do. And also just players that I look up to. I was like, now I could be in a position to be like Tyrann Mathieu. Now I could be in a position to be like Budda Baker. I could come downhill flying like Bob Sanders, like, or play the deep post like Earl Thomas, like just people who have my stature. And I just looked at it as a challenge, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to play safety. I played a little bit in high school, and it was just fun. But I do know I'm a smaller safety, so I just got to come down with the right angles, come down with bad intentions, and so that's just the focus that I have. I don't see any negatives at it. I just got to change my game and adapt.
Your next question will come from Patrick Engel.
Hey, Sean, you touched on it a little earlier of just some things that Clarence might not see just because he's a young player that hasn't played as much. Going back to your earlier time playing corner, what were some of the things that took you a little longer just to pick up on that come with experience?
Just reading splits and reading formations. I think he's talented enough to go out there and we can put him on an island and he can play man all game. But we need more from him, and each and every week he's getting better at it. He's starting to understand our defensive scheme, and understand how we're trying to attack and defend the offense. And so just little things like, or I guess not little things, but just things that come with, I guess, time and film study is just understanding the formations and understanding splits and what they're trying to give you out of those. And so I think each and every week he's picking up on those things, and he's becoming more familiar with it.
All right, your last question will be from Tyler James.
Hey, Sean, how much more vocal have you had to be as a player this season at safety? And was there a point where maybe it was tough for you and it's taken a while to become second nature, or was that something that was sort of natural for you to adapt to? It
definitely wasn't natural for me. I always thought I was vocal until I got moved to safety and I actually needed to be vocal. It's more than just trying to rally the guys. It's getting the guys set, getting the guys into the right positions. And when you make the other 10 better, I can make myself better. And so when I think about it, when I'm being quiet, when I'm not communicating to the other guys, it's me being selfish. And so when I'm able to understand the defense and get the scheme down for this week's prep, I'm able to help the other guys, make us a confident unit. It allows me to feel more confident as well, because when I'm communicating to Kyle, communicating to the corners, it's also helping out the front or the linebackers as well. And so just that was definitely an area I needed to work on leading up to the bye week. And so I think meeting with the coaches and meeting with some of the players, they gave me great feedback. They gave me some of it was criticism, but I needed it just because I needed to get the defense that you can see times maybe in Boston College where we weren't set, we weren't aligned, and I take full responsibility for that because it's my job to get us set. It's my job to get us where we need to be. And so throughout the bye week, I was working on that. I've been screaming my butt off these couple of weeks, just trying to make it second nature. And so I'm excited for this week's game just because I can put it into play.
All right, that's all we need from you this afternoon. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, our next athlete will be Myron Tagovailoa Amosa, and he'll be joining us in a few minutes. If you have a question for Myron, please use the raised hand function. All right, we'll keep going with Myron. Myron, your first question is going to be from Miles Garrett.
Hey, Myron. Just curious how you guys are planning to fend against Sam Howell. Just the amount of offensive output that he's been putting out these last couple games. 6 touchdowns against Wake Forest. Any particular way you guys are game planning against him?
Yeah. First and foremost, I just want to give the praise to the Most High. Truly born for him, I wouldn't be here. But in regards to your question, definitely Sam Howell is definitely elite QB. We just have to keep him contained in the pocket and really just disrupt the RPOs that they'll be doing. And yeah.
All right, your next question will come from John Finneran.
Hi, Myron. Wonder if you could talk to me about how important it is to what you have to do to win the line of scrimmage this week. And how did you think you did it in the last 2 games against Clemson and Boston College in that regard?
In regards to your first question, it's just coming down to a game of dominance, really. It just depends on who's going to be the most dominant front. And for us as a D-line, that's a challenge that we like to take. This is probably going to be one of the more bigger O-linemen that we face. But like I said, as a D-lineman, we definitely love the challenge up front. And so it's really going to come back to resetting the line of scrimmage, affecting the QB, and just, affecting the throws that he makes. In regards to how I've been playing lately, there's definitely a lot I can work on. I definitely felt that, in the run game, I've definitely been, okay here and there. But as far as it goes, I definitely want to get my pressure on the QB up. I definitely want to affect the QB more and just be an overall leader on the field.
Your next question will come from Tim Priester.
Myron, Coach Kelly today talked about the double teams that you've had to face and that it takes patience and selflessness on your part not to run around blocks and continue to occupy 2 guys. Can you explain what that process is like, and if that is what percentage of plays are you double teamed and the frustration that comes with that?
In practice, we get it almost every other play, but for some reason in the game, I feel like we probably get a double team at least 4 times, 5 times throughout the game. But there's definitely like a sense inside of me where that's just a sacrifice that you have to make. We're playing 1 of 11. I just got to do my job, trust that my brothers got my back and that they're doing their own jobs. And so there's really no frustration there to a point where I get that selfish feeling that I want to do more. Everyone wants to do more. Everybody wants to make a play. But when it comes to playing the game of football, you're not going to make every play. And that's just something that, especially as a 3-tech, especially as an inside guy, interior D lineman, that's something that we understand is that sometimes we have to take on those double teams. Sometimes we have to sacrifice the play just to get the scheme correct. And so it just comes down to really just doing our job. And yeah.
Your next question will be from Tyler James.
Hey, Myron, Coach Kelly said earlier that you were banged up a little bit earlier this season. How are you doing physically, and what was the bye week something that helped you kind of get to feeling a little bit better?
Yeah, definitely feeling a lot better. The bye week was something that gave me an opportunity to recover, really get my weight back up, and so I'm feeling a lot better. Yeah.
All right, your next question will be from Kalane Takase.
Hey, Myron, Kalani from Scoring Live here in Hawaii. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask you about a couple of moments earlier in this season. I guess a low and a high, missing that Florida State game. What kind of perspective did that give you having to sit out? And then beating the number 1 team in the country at home, Clemson, a couple of weeks ago. What was that like for you?
Go to your first question. I'm no, what's the saying? I'm not, it's okay, you can cancel that saying. But I'm no, for me, I've seen adversity. I've seen adversity my sophomore year. I've seen adversity throughout my time here. I know that I just got to stick to my process, trust that my brothers are going to go out there, do their thing. And that's what it was for Florida State. I wasn't able to play. So I just had to, just sit and really reflect and kind of just trust that my brothers would get the job done. And as far as Clemson, it was definitely, it was exciting. It was exciting to get the win. But I think one of the things that for us as a team that we really try to focus on is, it's just like winning any other game. We can't be too celebratory on that one victory just because it's Clemson, because, we're going to see them again. And it's really just going to come down to being the greatest team. And yeah, so we were definitely excited for that night, but as soon as that night is over, we're moving on to the next team.
All right, your next question will come from Todd Burlage. Todd, I believe your mic is not working, so if you have a question going forward, please feel free to use the chat. Your next question will be from Pete Sampson.
Myron, I realize this is asking you to take something complicated and make it simple, but your rush defense against when you guys are in base defense, just your regular 4-3 stuff, it's been really good all year. What are the biggest keys for that? Why do you think you guys have been so good when it's just sort of heads up, even 1st and 10 about stuff in the run?
Yeah, we definitely just try to look for indicators of pass, whether it be, light stances or linemen just leaning back. One of the things that we try to hone in on is just little keys that we can kind of pick off on 1st and 2nd down, because everybody knows when it comes 3rd down, it's pass rush time. But when it comes to being effective on the QB, it's the D-line has to kind of realize and take advantage of, pass rush on 1st and 2nd down opportunities. And so that's the thing that we've been focusing on this year, is really finding those little tendencies and moments where we can get a gauge on if it's run or pass. And now it's just getting on edge and affecting the QB. And we've been really kind of honing in on our rush lane, rush integrity. And so that's why I guess you've been seeing an improvement in our pass rush in 1st and 2nd down.
All right, your next question will be from Tim Priester.
Myron, I think every time we've talked to you the last 3 years, you bring up pass rush and how you want to improve that. What areas have you made improvements in, and where do you need to make improvements to be more effective?
I definitely think I've improved on recognizing pass rush on 1st and 2nd down, just as I mentioned. But yeah, it's definitely been frustrating for me this year. Obviously, as you mentioned, I definitely always been and talking about improving my pass rush, but I'm slowly getting there. But I think one thing I can definitely work on is just being more violent at the line of scrimmage. Like I said, this is a game about dominance, and this game rewards toughness. So it's really going to come down to really just being separating from the O-line and being dominant with my hands, being really physical with what I do on the line of scrimmage. So, yeah.
All right, we got a question from the chat from Todd Burlage. Obviously, a lot of downtime coming up with no classes and only football. With campus closed, how do you guys anticipate staying occupied and entertained with over the next few weeks?
Football. Being around the guys, watching film. We usually just come in the morning. A lot of guys, we know that with a lot of free time, it's just a time to take advantage and scout the opposing team. So, yeah.
Your next question will be from Tyler James.
Hey Myron, what's the challenge of you guys playing consistently against the run, even though you guys do rotate different guys in? How do you sort of create that continuity between the different units and the different guys that are going in and out of the lineup?
Definitely just repetition and practice. When we come out to practice, we always practice our rotations in practice as well. So throughout the week, Coach Justin just gets a feel for what guys should go in which rotation as we rotate. And so that's why there hasn't really been a fall off. There hasn't been a fall off actually. I felt that our young guys going in and taking consistent reps have been doing great all season. So.
All right, Myron, your last question will be from Kalani Takase.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, Myron, I wanted to ask you about your time back at Kapolei. I know it was a while back there, but your total experience, student athlete experience there, how do you reflect back on that time in high school, and how did it help you? How did it help shape you into the player and person you are today?
I really enjoyed my time at high school. I had a great coach, I had great teachers, teachers who really prepared me for what's happening now. They were always hard on me in class. My teachers and my coach really close with my mom. And as any student athlete, that is like, you don't want that. But it definitely kept me in shape with academics and as well as athletics. So I definitely enjoyed my time there. It was definitely just an amazing experience. I had great teachers, great coaches, and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to attend Kapolei.
All right, Myron, you're all set. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next student athlete this afternoon will be Tommy Tremble. Please use the raise hand function if you have a question for Tommy, and he'll be joining us in a few moments. All right, Tommy, welcome. Your first question, good. Your first question is going to be from Carter Carls.
Hey, Tommy.
How you doing?
Good. So, two questions here. Becoming the blocker you are now, what were some things early on in your career, year one, year two, that you worked on to improve yourself as a blocker? And how do you like the role that you're in now, where you're delivering these huge blocks, but you may not get as much recognition as a guy catching the touchdown pass?
For sure. This coming into this year, working on footwork and hand placement was a real big thing. I think we emphasize as tight ends as a whole. And, I took it especially thorough, trying to make sure my footwork and everything else was the best it could possibly. And the other main thing we really worked on was being able to study our opponents, like what their technique is. If they're a guy who has a bunch of reach and all that stuff, or a power player, just depending on how they play, and learning how to counteract that kind of player.
All right, your next question will be from John Finneran.
Hi, Tom. I wonder if you, coming into this week, a lot of people are taking a look at this game and seeing that the defense has to dominate North Carolina's offense. how much do you guys on offense know what you've got to do to help the defense in what they've got to do?
For sure. On offense, we've worked on just getting better every week. And that's one thing that's helped us, I think, be the program we are today is we're never satisfied for what we've done during the week. We're never done working. We're always working on the little things, making sure we're improving day by day, even if it is just by a little bit. So I think just having that kind of mentality as an offense is really what's going to help our defense in the end.
All right, your next question will be from Pete Sampson.
Tommy, I was kind of curious about the impact that Coach McNulty has had on you, but also the tight end room overall. Whether that be a different voice or different techniques, or just like how has he done relating to you guys and kind of helping that room grow?
Coach McNulty has been amazing this year. Every time when he knows a lot to do with technique-wise, especially in the route running game and in the blocking game, he just taught us really just to calm down and just focus on each one individual play and just making us better every single day we were out there with him. He's a great coach to have, great coach in the meeting room, make sure he covers all points and all that stuff throughout the meeting. And, he's just a great guy too, just an awesome person.
All right. Reminder also to the media, if you have a question, please use the raise hand function. We have a question from the chat from John Bryce of Ira Sports Daily. Brian Kelly said today that football aficionados really appreciate watching you play. What do you attribute your mental and physical approach, and what kind of desire you have to seek out contact?
Yeah, for sure. Growing up, I played defense mostly. And so I was used to, I always sought contact. You know what I mean? I played running back too. I never shied away from that. And my dad kind of taught me that. He's like, never be scared of contact. The more scared you are, the more hurt you're going to be. You know what I mean? And I think we brought that kind of fearlessness overall onto our offense. Is no one's shying away from contact. Everyone wants. You see Kyron and his pass blocking, everything he's doing, he's never shying away from that contact. He's embracing it. And that's really shown the physicality we have as a team.
Your next question will come from Carter Carls.
Tommy, what you just said, just wondering what kind of boost that gives the offense when, does it make you guys a better team in the fourth quarter where you're wearing teams down? And then also just in assessing your game and how you've played this season, what do you feel like you need to do to kind of take that next step in your game?
No, yeah, for sure. Going into the fourth quarter, we're always going to be the team that is when we're tired, we're going even harder. You know what I mean? We're never just oh, let's end this. Let's get out of here. Blah, blah, blah. We're 100% until the whistle blows at the end of the fourth quarter. And we just, we attribute that physicality. We're physical 100% the entire game. No matter what's happening, we're never going to shy away from that. And I think that's helped not only our team, but me individually being able to confident knowing that the man next to me is going to go just as hard. And it's an amazing program to really be around.
All right, got another question from the chat, this time from Todd Burlage. He wants to know how you guys will handle the extended winter break to get through potential boredom and ignore the temptations of leaving the bubble that this long winter break could bring.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, we've dealt this entire year we know the implications if we were just having a slip up, even just one little slip up, it could really just have pretty bad repercussions into the program. And so all of us, everyone on this team is 100% into the program, and we're ready to make those kind of sacrifices, even if it's not as fun or not as lavish. Yeah, we're on a mission, you know what I mean? And we're down to just stick to that routine.
Your next question will be from Lou Samoji.
Hi, Tommy. When you were recruited, I think most scouting services kind of had you pegged because of your athletic ability, kind of as that deep threat, the vertical threat at tight end. I don't think anyone really talked as much about your physicality. Did you, I don't know if you paid attention or anything to that like that, but did you feel that maybe you were underestimated in that part of your game? And do you still view making a great block as even a greater thrill than making a great catch?
No, yeah, 100%. Making a great block, moving one person from point A to point B is better if not the same as scoring a touchdown for me. I love doing that. You know what I mean? It's just who wants to play some real football, smash mouth football. I love that. And I think recruiting in high school, I was just really young coming out, and I just wasn't really developed as like I wasn't big enough to really be a physical blocker. Some guys would be 220, 225 in high school. Like I was registered at 225, but I was probably like a 210, 205 really. And so I couldn't really get my chance to be that dominant blocker, but I always had that physical mindset. I never really lost that. My dad gave me that since I was a young kid.
All right, Tommy, your last question will be from Tim O'Malley.
I'm just wondering when they kind of first approached you about, for lack of a better word, that fullback role for blocking. We saw you there, of course, in the Camping World Bowl. Was it something you worked on a lot in 2019, or did it come along with Coach Reese's tweaks to the offense?
We were thinking about it during this offseason, especially during camp. Just switching up the offense. Utilizing if I could play fullback, and I was 100% down for it. I had no problems with that at all. And when they put it in back then, I was solid 250 beginning of camp. So, running full speed in the gap and having a guy try to stop me, that was didn't really work out for them that much. But after seeing that work pretty well in the camp, implementing that into our offense, especially during the season, it was pretty huge. And I'm glad we did it, pretty honestly.
All right. That's all for you, Tommy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, our last student athlete this afternoon will be Ben Skoranek. If you have a question for Ben, please raise your hand. All right, Ben, we'll get started with you. Your first question will be from John Finneran.
Hi, Ben. Was wondering if you would talk to me about, tell us a little bit about the offense's plan this week as far as to try to control the ball in the line of scrimmage against South Carolina in order to help the defense and what they have to do against Carolina's offense.
Yeah, it's simple. Obviously, I'm not going to share too much with the media, but just taking care of the football, converting on third downs, and just executing, having a high efficiency in the red zone. So, Coach Reese and the staff up there have been doing a great job. Obviously with the bye week, we've had a little bit more time. So we just got to control the ball and really be smart. In the red zone and all that.
All right, just a reminder, our media, if you have a question for Ben, please raise your hand. We have a question from the chat from Todd Burlage. How confident are you and all the guys will stick to the plan and do what you need to do to stay safe and healthy during this long winter break without class?
Yeah, Coach Kelly mentions it all the time. We just got to be smart. We're in a position now where one slip up can cost us a chance. Of obviously winning the national championship. So I think everyone's bought in, and it's just, it's about being bought in. And I think every single person in the locker room is bought in, and, with the students gone, it's just us. So, just being smart and just, having awareness of the pandemic is obviously a tough situation for everybody, but, I think we're all in this together.
Your next question will come from Miles Garrett.
I don't think I asked one, but regardless, Ben, how do you guys continue to replicate the success that you and Ian have had, especially against Boston College? I know in between Clemson and and Georgia Tech, you kind of slowed down because you had a huge game at Pittsburgh. But how do you replicate that, going forward, for instance, this week at North Carolina?
Yeah, I think, me personally, I'm just getting more comfortable in the offense. I'm kind of knowing what to expect week to week as far as practice and all that. So just, still coming in every single day and just working at my craft and, just building that relationship with Ian and the rest of the offense. But, I think me personally, I'm getting a lot more comfortable in the offense, not having a spring ball, then missing, a chunk of camp and the beginning of the season with the hamstring. I'm finally, getting comfortable in the offense and really feel like I can play loose now.
All right, your next question will come from Pete Sampson.
Then on that sort of getting comfortable in the offense part, I was curious if you could sort of take us through, I guess working with Ian in scramble situations, because I think that's something that Coach Kelly has brought up, that like that part of whether it be you or Javon is a lot better, and you're seeing the production on Saturday because Ian knows where you're going to be, you know where Ian wants it. And then the second question was just, I know you haven't been here with Ian forever, but what do you think of just the way that he's handled the scrutiny of being the quarterback here, whether that's good, bad, indifferent? It's really sort of been all over the place during his career.
Can you repeat the first question again? Sorry.
Oh, just about understanding scramble drills and like that being a big sort of boost to the offense the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, scramble drills are, they're hardly ever the same. It's not like a play in the playbook. Ian, obviously with his mobility, there's going to be a lot of scramble opportunities. So just, just getting open, I guess, and kind of being in the right spot. We have our rules, our scramble rules, but, just getting open and then Ian trusting us as well. But, the second part of your question, being the quarterback of Notre Dame is obviously awesome for Ian, but, I didn't really realize everything that comes with it until I started spending some time with him. And, we go out to eat or something and there's fans, there's people, everyone has something to say to him. And I think he just does an unbelievable job of keeping, his head on his shoulders, keeping a level head and just not letting that stuff get to him, whether it's good or whether it's bad. He comes every single day to the Goog to get better. So I think that's something I really admire about him. He just, everyone has something to say, everyone's DMing him, everyone's tweeting at him, everyone's doing all this, but he's the same Ian Book and he's going to come to work every single day.
Your next question will be from Tim Priester.
Ben, you sort of addressed this talking about missing spring, but I wondered what the biggest adjustments were from the Northwestern offense to the Notre Dame offense. And then other than, just the pitch and catch that you would do over the course of 15 spring practices, what were some of the other things that maybe you missed by only having 1 out of 15 practices?
Well, just learning a whole new offense. I actually picked up on it kind of fast, but there's so many words from the offense that I played in for 4 years that have different meanings in this offense and signals, all that. You can only have so many hand signals, and some of them look the same but have completely different meanings. So I think I was doing a lot of thinking in the beginning of the season and camp and stuff, where, like I mentioned, I'm comfortable now. I'm just comfortable in the offense, see the signal, all that stuff. It's just coming to me very easy. But yeah, there's just so many differences, between these two offenses, and just, learning. It's been a lot of fun, just spending the extra time learning it. But yeah, those signals were hard at first. I'll tell you what, Coach Reese was yelling at me quite a bit, for confusing the signals, but it's all good now.
Your next question will come from Tyler James.
Ben, both of your big games have come on the road. I'm curious if there's anything about playing on the road that works better for you, or is there something to do with once you make a play early, you're more likely to have maybe some more success with Ian later in the game?
I've always liked playing on the road, whether it was in high school or at Northwestern. Playing on the road's fun, but I wouldn't say all that, especially this year with no fans. Yeah, but obviously making plays early is it really helps. If you're making plays early, Ian's probably going to be coming back to you later in the game. But I haven't played a lot of home games because at the beginning of the season, our home schedule, it was primarily home, and I was out for most of that time. But I'm excited to get back in Notre Dame Stadium one more time. But looking forward to this week as well in North Carolina.
Our next question will be from Carter Carls.
Ben, what is it about you and Ian that helped you guys form such a bond and chemistry, not just on the field, but off the field in such a quick time? And then also, what was it like getting a shout out from Ocho Cinco after your Boston College game?
Yeah, Ian and I, he was my host on my official visit, so we kind of clicked right away. And then when I got, to Notre Dame within the first week, we were hanging out almost every day. But I think, we both just have chips on our shoulders. We weren't the highest recruited guys out of high school. We've kind of had to work for everything. So just that work ethic, and then we come from pretty similar families. Just having to work our way up. To being starters at Notre Dame, but Ian's a great friend of mine, and we just clicked right away. It's just one of those things that happens. And as far as Ocho Cinco, like probably 10, 15 people sent me that tweet immediately. I actually deleted the Twitter app off my phone, so I don't spend as much time on it. But they sent me the tweet, and I'm like, whoa, like that's Ocho Cinco. I was kind of like in shock at first. He's one of the best to ever do it. So when I saw that was pretty cool. He's someone that you can always learn something from. So I'm hoping that sometime I can link up with him and try to get some receiver work with him and just learn something from him.
All right, your last question will be from John Finneran.
Ben, I wonder if last Saturday, did you watch a certain football game from Evanston, Illinois? And also what your reaction is, the fact that you're not having Thanksgiving dinner until Saturday after you guys get back from North Carolina. I wonder if you could comment on those two things.
Yeah, I watched a lot of football, but there's one game, I think it was in the 3:30 slot that I watched, and I'm just so happy for those guys, the coaching staff. I'm so close with so many of those guys still. And, Northwestern, we actually lost, a member of our family last week, and the strength coach, Joe Orozco, who, I spent 3 years with. So, a lot of those guys are playing with heavy hearts. And I think, he kind of just gave them the strength, to have that dub. But, having such a great start in Evanston, I'm so happy for those guys, Coach Fitz. They were just first-class people up there. And, I can't say it enough. I'm happy for them, seeing those guys have success. And then what was the second part of your question?
Asking about Thanksgiving dinner not being until Saturday.
Yeah, first time I won't be having, Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving, but I'm excited for a Saturday Thanksgiving. We'll be able to get some good food, watch the rest of college football, and just spend time with each other. So that's going to be cool. But playing college football for 5 years now, we're not really home on the holidays at all. So I'm pretty used to it now. But I'm excited, to have Thanksgiving here. I hope the food's good.
All right, that's all we have time for this afternoon. Thanks a lot, Ben.
Yeah, thank you guys.